All right. You just want me to fire it up?
Let's go.
Man.
All right. Welcome to the Nobody Cares podcast, which I believe we were gone last week, but I think we are still number one.
No, for sure.
I think at least the aggregator says that to me.
Did you get the Nielsen report for this past week?
I don't know if y'all know, but I put out a list of podcasts that nobody cares about every week. We're still number one.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Uh-huh.
I guess nobody cared about that list.
I didn't really care about it enough to publish it. I'm just making that up.
All right, man. So I want to kind of talk about the distributed social network that I found called Minds, MINDS.com. It kind of runs parallel to the Brave browser and the attention token that they're using. They use a slightly different one, but I quickly logged on. Casey and I were started posting some stuff on it, and
We're Mind Friends.
We're Mind Friends. That's right. And you know, it's kind of the cross between a little Facebook, a little Twitter, and maybe Facebook groups. But it was interesting the way they do the feed, and you can boost whatever you're posting for more views. But I don't think it doesn't do the targeting like Facebook does. So I think it still adheres to the to the privacy model that seems to be trending. But so anyways, I thought it was interesting. It's distributed, meaning that there's no server, right? It's part of blockchain. Is that what I'm kind of reading into?
I don't know how blockchain works, if I'm being totally honest. It's magic.
It is magic, right? It's a ledger.
Well, I read a funny article from a guy who went to South by this week, just talking about the stupid stuff that people said to him. And he kind of listed when I'm asking you about your company, don't say this because you sound stupid. And somebody was telling him about their platform and said, yeah, we have this database and it can connect people to use, whatever, and uses blockchain, totally the back end. And he says, well, couldn't you just use a regular database for that? He said, yeah, but blockchain is so much cooler. And so he asked him why. And he said, well, like so many people are moving that way and whatever, but absolutely couldn't explain it. And he said, if you're going to throw blockchain out there, and this goes for everything else too, you should have at least a rudimentary capability to explain the damn thing, right?
Right.
You can't just say blockchain, and it's like, I think we talked about this last week of 40 or 50% of AI startups don't actually have any AI. Well, actually, none of them have any AI, but let's go with 40 or 50% don't actually have any AI. It's like, you can't just throw a buzzword around a business. So what's special about why would I use Minds instead of using, I'll be contrarian, Facebook?
Well, for one thing, there's no ads. And the feed itself is a little different. Casey, if I'm explaining this wrong, let me know. But the initial post you see is a feed, right? It kind of just rotates like a banner, as like a little slider type thing. It just refreshes, and then underneath it you see who your followings posts, like you normally would, on Facebook or Twitter. But it's not congested right now. It's pretty organic in the way you see stuff, and it also has a group feature that looks pretty cool too.
Buddy, your cowboy skillet looks pretty legit on there.
It does. It looks really good.
I'm fasting today, and that is killing me, Michael.
I know. It's actually nice. Nice day out here. It's blue sky, so I'm gonna fire the smoker up.
Grill in your future.
Yeah.
You just inspired me. I think I'm gonna fire up the green egg and maybe just eat a piece of meat.
Yeah, we We get that salmon from Aldi's. That's pretty good. It has the marinade on it and stuff. It's pretty good. So, anyways, that's what we're doing.
Very nice.
Cool. So, Minds, I think, is an interesting. I've played with it some. You can put some interesting stuff there. It's built on a blockchain, which I hear makes it secure, right? Or it makes it impossible to delete the content. One of the two. Depends on who you talk to.
My cowboy skillet will never go away.
So I heard Jack Dorsey talking about this on the Joe Rogan podcast, where he was talking about what it means to be Twitter as they move over into kind of like this blockchain type of social format. And he makes a lot of sense. Clearly, he's a smart guy and he thinks about these things a lot. But he was talking about how he sees Twitter evolving into more of a curator of this larger environment of content that's out on the blockchain. You can see it if you want to, but Twitter, can sort of curate it, and that's what their role becomes as kind of a front face of this blockchain network. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
Huh. So this is this whole kind of emerging trend of pay for play. I loved, what I was explaining someone who owns a big media company the other day, actually one of our investors, about Brave and how it works, and he said, well, you're not going to be able to access our content with it, and that wasn't true. I could. I said my point is not to get free content, because I don't believe in that either. But if I want to take $50 or $100 a month and distribute that equally between the content that I consume, I love that concept, because otherwise I'm paying $15 for New York Times here and $25 for Barron's over here, and another $100 for a year for Economist, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm spending $2,000 a year just to read content, and I don't think that's sustainable for me. It's not for me, but I think there is a model where I pay for what I'm going to consume, and maybe you can rate limit me or something. But we've got to get to this place where there's an exchange other than just spamming me or beating the hell out of my privacy.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a really big win for content publishers in that regard. So, and just to kind of bring it into the real world. So, one thing, when we travel back to Arkansas, we don't really typically know where we're going to stop along the way. And so we wait until we get sleepy, and then we find a place to stop. You can get pretty good hotel rates at 12 at night, right? They have excess inventory. They're not going to sell that room, and so they'll take half price. They'll take whatever they can get because it's more than what they would have gotten already.
Sure.
Right. So there's going to be some people who want a New York Times subscription because they love the New York Times and that's what they want to read. But there's this other world of users, of potential audience out here who are like, well, I get the free thing. If I bump up against the free article limit, then maybe I'll find that content somewhere else, and or I just don't care enough to read it. I'm not going to pay $10 a month for it or whatever. I think there's a group of people out there who there's no inventory limit on digital subscribers. So what if New York Times gets an extra buck from them, or an extra 50 cents? It's 50 cents more than they would have gotten. You multiply that times 10,000 people, 20,000 people. Like it actually begins to matter.
Well, and it's also market driven too, right? The more popular this model becomes, more money gets thrown into it, and the value of the token right now, BAT's like trading at 18 cents to the dollar, but who's to say that doesn't spike to one BAT equals $25 at some point, or 1,000? I think if that gets to that level, I mean, then I think you really got a serious, commerce there.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but I love the idea of of getting compensated for the interruption. Like, if I'm consuming content and ads are interrupting me, I should get a little something out of it.
I actually would take that one step further, Casey. I don't mind being interrupted by somebody that I'm interested in.
Right.
I think the value to the advertiser becomes astronomical, right? Like if there's some easy way for me to approve specific types of ads, or Casey, your example's good. So I'm gonna plan a trip to Denver in April to go to Brand Innovators, right? And so now I know I need airfare. Might want to do something interesting whatever. I mean, there's a need. If I could easily, which you could, add that to my calendar and have a toggle that enabled Denver-based advertising to me. By the way, if you're going to pay me some BAT and fund my media consumption, that's a great exchange of value for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's private info. That's not your basic. You're now hitting me with ads because I searched Denver, right? You know exactly when I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Open requested information in exchange for value, right? Like I'm gonna have a better feeling towards an advertiser that's doing that for me. I'm like, oh, I got to read that Economist article thanks to IHG Hotels, which was letting me know about hotel options in Denver, specifically when I'm traveling. Not random. I'm going to Denver for the next 30 days. They're spamming me.
I just saw that Airbnb bought your hotels tonight.
They did, and I love that platform. And I love Airbnb, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, how do you think that's going to play out? Like, how's that? I've never used Hotels Tonight, so I'm not familiar with.
Man, it's all I use. It's all I use now, and it's amazing because like Hertz and Delta and stuff. I was a huge Hilton loyalist, right? And Hotels Tonight does what Casey's basically does on his trips. Afternoon every day, and they've added services, but the original concept was afternoon every day. You could see really smoking deals on great hotel rooms. I could rent a nice 4-star hotel for a really, really cheap rate, but you had to act on it then, and I had to travel to a city with the ambiguity of I didn't have a room,
Right.
And now though it's so great because I can book stuff ahead, I can do whatever. So it's got an immediate deal. Whenever I log in and I choose my parameters, it'll give me one like big drop, and it won't tell me what the deal is, but I know what the hotel is. A little bit different from Priceline, and usually it's such a great deal that I'm like, yeah, heck yeah. I got a room in Chicago the other day at a beautiful hotel for like $100 a night.
Wow.
Everything else was $250, whatever, downtown. And I'm like, this is a great deal. So what I would imagine is Hotels Tonight is going to integrate, or Airbnb will integrate the ability to choose Airbnbs in that process too, which would be awesome.
Wow.
I think Airbnb makes money, unlike Lyft and Uber, which I think, you know, everybody's going to be all jazzed about these IPOs, and then see how, you know, already seeing how much money these folks lose. I don't know how you close that gap. You know, Lyft lost $1 billion last year.
Wow.
You got to increase Lyft fares or pay people less or both to make that work. And, you know, it just seems at this phase in their development. I mean, Uber's 10 years old.
Right.
More.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's losing that kind of money. I mean, you know, and I get it, it's a market share game, but dang, the business model this year.
Hey, you know, apparently they can keep operating without one, so whatever. More power to them. So I just discovered I have 0.471 tokens from Minds already.
What'd you get for?
So you get 1 token per 1,000 views, apparently, and they pay you in Ethereum, which is I know a favorite of yours.
I love Ethereum, yeah. And I can, yeah.
I gotta go look at some stuff because I was trying to tip Mike, but I didn't have enough money.
Dude, I can wire.
Imagine that as a different model, right? So now I go and I read some stuff, and I do stuff, and then I can do a value exchange, and you can do a value exchange with me.
Yeah, well, one thing that's interesting about that, to that point about the value exchange, is so I can spend my tokens on Minds to boost my content, right? So I get rewarded for creating good content, kind of being a good community member.
Yep.
With tokens. I think maybe probably the more likes you get may contribute to that or something too, and then I get to spend it by boosting my content, like creating ads basically, and which gives me a higher audience and increases my likelihood to earn more in the future. So it becomes a really cool thing. I don't know that it'll ever take off.
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I think the continuing trend is that it's alternatives to Facebook are interesting enough that people keep coming out with them. Like I think Minds is interesting. I've played around on Mastodon. I don't know if y'all have looked at that.
I have not yet.
Which is a similar, like, kind of federated, decentralized, not blockchain, I don't believe, but it's a federated, decentralized network. You can host your own server that's part of the Mastodon network, and you can have people join your Mastodon server, or you can join other people's Mastodon server, whatever, for your kind of entry point. But you're part of a larger network at the same time, which I think is equally an interesting way to go. For this, I'm also curious what you guys think about, since we're talking about Facebook alternatives. So Facebook made a big announcement last week on their future. Mark Zuckerberg actually went on and posted a Facebook note. I don't know if you know that notes are actually still a feature on Facebook. It was new to me. And so basically it makes 3 points. One is that the future of Facebook is ephemeral posts that disappear forever, which is the opposite of what we're talking about, right? With blockchain, we're talking about things that never disappear.
Right.
And end-to-end encryption and safety. So he's looking at the WhatsApp model as the future of Facebook, that it is focused on privacy and security and things that disappear.
Well, and private networks.
Yeah.
Right. It is I don't want to communicate with anybody. I want to communicate with these circles of folks. Right.
Yes. So what are y'all's thoughts on this change?
I feel like marketers are going to be like, nah, I ain't buying that.
Right. The marketers are gonna be like, "What? I gotta work to serve up ads." Or
marketers hate shit they can't see.
yeah,
right. You know, this is the only thesis that I still have left of why people buy print ads, and it's so that they can put them on their desk and they can tab them and they can go show their boss, "Look, I did marketing."
I agree with you. I have a pretty long.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I have a pretty long rant on my blog about Facebook's changes, but it focuses basically around the fact that I'm really irritated that that Facebook is basically moving to something that we can't see anymore. I think so. It bothers
me so bad.
What's that?
They want to be Snapchat so bad.
They do. And it bothers me that so that Facebook treats its customers like this. Like most people think that users are customers, but users are the product, right? Like we're the customers. Like
you're the product. We're the customer.
We're the customers. The advertisers are the customer of Facebook. They've already built like the crappiest ad management platform ever. At least at that scale, it's horrible. It's slow, it's buggy, it's a mess, and anyone who uses it regularly, like they'll go off if you get them started talking about Facebook's ad platform, and so now, like as a brand, I want to reevaluate my place on Facebook pages. Like that's the way I feel. Like what value do I get out of it? I'm more locked into whatever insights Facebook kind of decides to trickle out to me. I'm not even going to be able to go back and see a post from last year and the way people interacted with it versus now, unless that's a supported data set. I don't like it. I don't like Facebook though. I'm over the Facebook thing.
Why are more brands not asking that question? Like, brand pages on Facebook suck.
They suck, man.
They suck. I mean, they're just. Well, Casey, I'm with you, and kind of put my money where my mouth is. I deleted my Facebook app on my phone at the beginning of the year as part of my be less electronically engaged kind of thing. And then, probably the past week, 2 weeks, I haven't been on desktop either at all. And I wasn't really at all anyway. And people think I'm still there because I got some auto shares from stuff, which I know some people hate. But yeah, I'm out.
I realized I hadn't logged in over a week a few days ago, and was like, I had like 100 notifications. I was like, I think I'm gonna tap out of that.
Then you watch your kids. I don't know about your daughters, Casey, but Mary Catherine loves Snapchat.
Yes.
And she and her friends communicate in the most just interesting ways using Snapchat.
That's a word,
right?
For it.
And I mean, nothing, just picture of this room, and here's where I am. Boom.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's the bill.
That's great.
Got my crazy.
It's to a private group. It's anytime we get in the car, she turns the camera out and just snaps a picture of whatever's going by the window.
My daughter does the same thing every morning on the way to school.
Like a thing.
Yeah.
I'm on the way to school. And it's the way they say I think they're on the way to school, but
Great. It's interesting that you bring that up because yesterday I'm driving somewhere with my daughter. I think I picked her up from softball practice or something, and I say, she's on Instagram. I say, I noticed you never asked to be on Facebook, so we let her on Instagram a couple of years ago, and as kind of the first step into social media, and she never asked for anything else besides Snapchat. And she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be." I'm like, "So, just no interest?" I mean, if you asked, I probably would say, "Yeah." She's like, "No, I don't want to Facebook account."
It's not even no interest. It's like it is so not cool.
Right.
Like, to even have an account. It's like, ew. I just get this face. It's like,
wow.
And every once I forget, I'm like, "Oh, wait, Catherine, do you see that thing? I posted it." She's like, "Did you put it on Facebook?" She's like, "I don't look at that. I don't have that." And
yeah, I mean, pretty much the only. I mean, I think Facebook may solve its own problem, right? Like, pretty much the only advertisers that are going to want to be on there is like what, Swiffer and vitamins and supplements, right? That's
right, baby boomers.
Dude, you're right. It's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And then, I don't know who's running the corp comm, but when you throw Elizabeth Warren a softball, she's attacking the industry, and they ban her ads.
That's funny.
And they said, "Well, we have a policy of people using our logo," and I'm like, "Oh boy, y'all need some like real PR people."
Well, I will say that Facebook's ad approval process has some people in there that you can tell were the type who were a certain type of person in high school, not making disparaging comments, but now they just really like to go out and just stick people as hard as they can.
Hammer them.
And so I actually got into such an enraged argument with a Facebook reviewer, they're nameless, that they shut my whole ad account down.
Oh, nice.
Not photofiles, don't worry, John. But for something else, because they would not approve an ad, and I know Facebook's ad policies as well as they do. At this point, I've been doing this for years. Run millions of dollars of ads personally, like not like oversee. I personally put them on Facebook, and we went around and around and around until finally they shut the whole thing down. So they are very totalitarian, and I can totally see them doing that to Elizabeth Warren with zero regard to the blowback of like, hey, you know what? This time, because the ad is actually saying, "Hey, I'm campaigning for president," in order to break up Facebook, maybe I should leave it alone.
I mean, that's and you just gave her, like, I'm not a fan of Elizabeth Warren, but you just gave her see, like, do you want Facebook deciding what content you see or not? I mean, the total softball. And I can imagine, Trump jumping in on that and say, "See, I've been telling you the same thing." Like these guys aren't doing themselves any favor. I just think they live in a echo chamber or something. And they just
they really out of touch at Facebook HQ over there. I don't know if that's a cultural issue or what, but of all the companies in this category that you can think of, like they seem pretty out of touch.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of later stage people at big shiny tech companies that went to work and it's, "Oh man, it's cool working for Facebook and life's good and whatever." And they realized, yeah, you ain't getting rich on stock options. You're not. I mean, this is not. You work at a big, cumbersome company, and that realization, I think, might give some of the bitterness that you're experiencing, Casey. They're like, "Yeah, I want to show you sitting in my cube." Like, what's up?
No question.
Work for Facebook, damn it. Sorry.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well,
downhill.
Mike and I were talking before you hopped on about about this and about whether or not Facebook and because Facebook, Amazon, and Google, I think, were named
right.
as companies to be split up because of kind of a monopolistic run. And
Apple in there too.
Apple, yeah. Well, clearly Apple has competition. That's I don't know that. So I think Facebook is very controlling, but I feel like I have options. I mean, I can go to Twitter.
Yeah.
I can make a blog.
Man, there's so many options for all of this, you know, and the whole idea of, hey, they got too much control of the media is just bullshit, right? You have control of the media. You know, if you don't like the content you see on Facebook, you don't have to be there. Right?
You don't have to be there. I can run ads somewhere else. I can get news from somewhere else. I can connect with friends somewhere else. You know what? I can call my friends on the phone.
What?
Whoa.
Michael and you are the only people who ever answer my calls. You know, like human. You know, like wow, human to human. Mr. Return on Relationship doesn't answer my calls.
Oh, I believe that.
He hates to talk on the phone, man.
Text.
He hates to talk on the phone. I like it. You know, I can't do this anymore because of AirPods, and now this is like just feel stupid. I don't know why this feels dumb. Do you see people now that like and they're talking like this, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
No, if I pick up my phone that way, I'm like, just hang on just a minute. I got to get my
AirPods. I'm not talking to you on the device. That's gross, man. That thing's in my hand all day. Look, I hold that next to my face.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I kind of go in waves. It seems like with like Twitter right now is kind of hot. The way they redid their feed and gosh, the news. I like the way they serve up the news, and
Twitter news is legit.
Yeah, like it's for real. And then Instagram, I like Instagram just because how organic it still is, you know. But I know Facebook is gonna like just throttle the shit out of it coming soon. I mean,
you know what I like about Twitter? It's funny that you say that, Mike. It's the mullet strategy now, right?
Yeah.
So I can it's business in the front and party in the rear, right? So I can look at Twitter news, and then in the feed I can click on a hashtag and I can see all the stupidness that people are talking about it, which is even better. So
I love that.
Whatever, and it's like everything all at once, you know. And then I can jump in there and go say something stupid.
Yeah, you know, that's where I saw that the news post about Elizabeth Warren going to break up Apple by CNBC. So I just replied with a meme of the mustard falling down. Fail. Whoa.
Oh.
And then you use that meme.
Right up there with let's run Amazon off from our city.
Right.
I mean, just not a great idea, man. I'm not a politician, obviously. But
sometimes they have to put on a realist hat, I think. You know,
I think people will talk about you, but you ran off a serious. I mean, dude, New York must be like. I don't know. Although I think a lot of New Yorkers were happy about it. So what do I know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not my city.
Yeah,
weirdos.
I live in a pretty substantial piece of grass for basically a 200 square foot box store apartment in New York. Grass, right? It's mine.
Yep. Right. Got my own dirt.
Mow it and stuff.
Wow.
There you go. All right.
Oh, hey, you know, with the Brave browser, we can't. excuse me, we can verify the Photify YouTube channel as a publisher, and we can accept tips.
What? Sweet.
How do we do that?
I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, we just.
Casey's our tech guy. He's supposed to be doing all that stuff.
He can do it. He can do it.
I'll do it. I'll figure it.
He's got the hook line behind his head. Come on, man.
You know, I tell you what, I do like
all day.
Just from like Minds, they have a little more complicated like wallet thing going on in the background compared to Brave. They have that like off-chain. Whatever. I mean, it gets a little. Seems like it gets a little complicated, man. I like easy shit.
You gotta have a like. I want. You know what I want? I want Apple Pay. Crypto wallet.
You know, Abra. I want you to get on the Abra app, man. That thing.
I want Apple Pay, or I want PayPal.
Yeah.
You know,
Venmo style.
Preferably Apple Pay.
Yeah.
But and I want Apple Pay just to aggregate. You know, I just aggregate my stuff. Let me pay however I want to pay. And just let me choose in the payment stream, and I want it on my watch so that I can, you know, buy my coffee. Because it's really, really hard to hand somebody, you know, money.
Yeah,
it is. I go out of my way to go to the grocery store to use Apple Pay for sure.
Seriously, like I'll go to certain stores because I know that they take Apple Pay.
Now I do Samsung Pay. Just
I don't want to be at a terminal that I can't pay with my watch. And you know where it's creeping in really quickly is gas stations.
Oh, I wish we had that.
You can pay at Sheets.
At Sheets, that's why I stop at Sheets every time because I can just pay my watch in front of the pump and I'm done.
Okay,
done.
We got Sheets up here. Okay.
Oh, Mike just changed his gas buying habit.
Well, it changed my gas buying habit.
The nearest Sheets to me is probably about 15, 20 minutes away, but I will change my route.
Yeah.
There you go.
Man, simplicity wins. Simplicity make my life easy.
Yeah.
I don't wanna think about it. Have you tried Mix, Mike?
No, what is that?
MYXX.
Have not tried that yet.
We got all these recipes and stuff, right? So you go, you want to cook something on your grill, you get a good recipe, whatever. It automatically loads it to your shopping cart at Walmart, a bunch of grocery stores, and a bunch of other places. It'll generate a list. Like let's say, you know, your wife wants something and you happen to be at the store, she could send you something or vice versa. There's your whole list. You can knock out things that you already have. Shannon buys all our groceries this way now, you know.
Wow.
I'm going to try that. That's awesome.
Shannon is a full disclosure. Shannon's doing some consulting for them, so I don't want to get sideways with the FCC. Not that they care. Hashtag disclosure ad. But it is a you can see the future of curating. So I go to Pints, Forks, and Friends. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hook you up with that. You go to Pints, Forks, and Friends. You've made something. And now I can just click your recipe, load it completely to my cart, and with delivery, I could have that shit at my house in 2 hours. You know?
Wow. Do I have to do anything on Pines, Forks, and Friends? Do I have to do anything on Pines, Forks, and Friends for you? Or is it, if I just have it spelled out in the article, is that all you need?
Yeah, I think that's all you need. I'm going to connect you with their folks because I think a Pines, Forks, and Friends integration would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so brands pay them to have a specific brand listed. So if you had if you had a barbecue recipe, like you might have, Chef Johnny's stuff in it, right? But what I love about it is you can totally see, I can go straight from your content to product order. I mean, completely frictionless transaction for me to be able to make your ribs or your, whatever you want to make. It's a really, really cool platform.
Wow. Content to commerce. I've heard that before.
Content to commerce. Nice. But you got it. But to your point, take all the friction out of the way. You let me pay that way, right?
Yeah.
I want Mike's rib. I want Mike's ribs. All I got to do is show up tomorrow, and it's basically like a blue apron and a click, right?
Yep. No doubt. And I got rid of that other mustard, and I got this newer mustard that you can put in there too, so it's even better now.
That upgraded mustard.
Oh wait, hang on. I got some. And I think you guys get out. It's a little product called Steak.
Ooh, I got that. Hey, I had a big mustard fail this weekend. I forgot to tell you about. Mary Catherine, my buddy Eric, and I. Shannon's out of town, and we went down to the boat this weekend, right?
Yeah.
And because we didn't have power for a while with the hurricanes and stuff, we kind of cleaned the refrigerators out. So no condiments, right?
Right.
We bought this awesome. We went to the farmer's market, bought this awesome like farm-made sausage, right? So spicy chicken sausage and oh man, it was so good. And so we're cooking them up on the grill. It's all my buddy's like, hey, yeah, you got some mustard? I'm like, nope. Like, oh, Mike is gonna be mad at me, man. How can you be out of mustard?
That's right. And again, they do not. I am not on the payroll for them either. I just really like it. So full disclosure.
And doesn't mustard have a half-life refrigerated, non-refrigerated of like 150 years or something?
I think that's close. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So as we wrap this up, I do want to point out today we are celebrating the 30th birthday of the World Wide Web.
God bless the web.
I saw that. Wow. Thanks, Al Gore.
Pretty sure it was Tim Berners-Lee.
That's what they want you to believe. Well,
all right.
So I just got one question, one prediction. How long until somebody creates a Mastodon out of DNA?
Wow.
A Mastodon out of what?
Out of DNA. So Mastodons are extinct, right? Extinct.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking about Mastodon social network. Now I'm with you.
But well, you just made me think about it because I don't know if you've been following the gene editing thing in China where they gene edited some twins. Somebody's going to grow a Mastodon.
Wow.
And then a T-Rex is not far behind.
I've seen that movie. Yeah. Isn't there a couple of movies about that?
It's going to happen. It's probably happening as we talk, but I just think that it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have some AI too involved with that, right? And blockchain and
dinosaurs on the blockchain. That sounds like a show title.
Yeah.
Blockchain Mastodon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, have a good day.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, y'all.